Once upon a time there was a merchant who was so rich that even the most powerful princes in the kingdom came to borrow money from him. In his house, the largest house in the city, the merchant displayed the rarest and most beautiful things. The cabinets in the house were filled with precious silk fabrics, beautifully woven, so smooth that you could touch them. Feel soft on the whole hand. There are countless gold coins in the cabinet. In short, there is nothing missing in this businessman and number 39's house. There are always delicious delicacies on the dining table. To make tea, every day he had to use water from a cool stream located half a day and number 39's journey from his house. I always see the businessman as kind, happy, and comfortable. Business is increasingly prosperous, compared to everyone else. No one is happier than him. But every metal has its downside, so this businessman also has a secret sadness. His only son TôKyBây was a beautiful young man, of excellent character and excellent education. But, even though he gets everything he wants and has no illness, he still lives a closed life and has no intimate attachments to anyone. Surely he had fun with his peers, sometimes in the arena, sometimes in the theater. When his father wanted or his friends insisted, he also went to a restaurant with them to eat a meal. He often drinks a cup of fragrant rice wine, but he never smiles and his pale face always shows people an immense sadness. Young men often invited him, for he was a young man respected by everyone in the city and always spent money on them. But in general, when he enthusiastically commented on an issue, they felt satisfied, because then he was no longer sad. The father was very worried about his son and number 39's bad temper. When I and number 39 am gone, what will he do and how will he run the business? TôKyBây doesn't and #39 care about anything and its quiet personality will lose customers. What will happen? How will my business turn out? The rich merchant often thinks like that, but he doesn't and #39 know how to arouse the joy of life in his son and number 39's heart. Every time his father scolded him, TôKyBây politely listened and carefully followed his father and number 39's instructions, but still did not become any happier. In the same neighborhood as this merchant there was another merchant. Although his business was less prosperous, he was honest, intelligent and respected by everyone. When he was still healthy, his family lacked nothing. They lived humbly but happily, and the only son was well educated. But one day, he fell ill, and shortly after, he was lying under a foot of ground. The wife knew nothing about business, and soon she ran out of money and could n and #39 support TôKyBây. When TôKyBây reached adulthood, he had to drop out of school to find a job to support himself and his elderly mother. When looking for a job, he went to the house of a rich merchant. Seeing the clever young man, he was satisfied, and because he also knew his family, he accepted TôKyBây to work. TôKyBây now worked so hard, carefully and competently that the rich businessman gave him all the accounting books, and after a while, he introduced him to his family. He became even more attached to him when he saw that he attracted his son, and the two boys played together very closely. So when he heard his son ask for his new secretary to take a few days off from work to accompany him on a pilgrimage to famous temples in Is, he immediately agreed. The father happily said to himself, that and number 39's the end. I and my child already care about worldly affairs. Surely it will change." The two young men, TôKyBây and TôKyBây, set out together. The journey became short, because TôKyBây now knew how to tell many funny stories, and often saw TôKyBây and #39's face beaming with a shy smile. He even tells stories from time to time. In the evening, the two of them had been traveling for a day. They came to an inn with a spacious and beautiful appearance located on the side of the road, a little far from the village. "Let an number 39's spend the night here," TôKyBây suggested. "This restaurant seems welcoming to customers. Maybe you can eat and drink here. Why do we have to go into town?" "I and number 39 am so tired. I can and number 39 even walk." TôKyBây now agreed. The two of them went into the shop. The innkeeper, old and fat, welcomed them at the door. Seeing TôKyBây and #39's beautiful and luxurious clothes, he expressed respect. "You must be going out to have fun, right? Or are you going to do business through this area? It is a great pleasure to welcome distinguished guests to stay at our restaurant. Let us choose good rooms for you. Surely you will like it." The old man spoke in one breath, bowed, and then led the guest into the house. Inside, the old innkeeper and number 39's wife received them even more formally than her husband. Then she went ahead and led the two into the room. After that, she bowed down to apologize to the guests and went to the kitchen to prepare dinner. TôKyBây now looked around and was surprised to see the following words written on the door of the room. "The poor have never slept here." He elbowed him, nudging TôKyBây, and said, "Look, I and number 39 am staying in a special inn. Only for rich people." So this time they broke their plates. TôKyBây replied with a smile, "Even if you are poor like you can still sleep in a luxurious room." After dinner, the couple chatted and played for a while. Then they wished each other good night and everyone went to their own rooms. TôKyBây covered himself with a thin blanket, but because he was so tired, he could and #39 sleep. He tossed and turned in bed, his eyelids felt heavy, but sleep still didn't and #39 come. Perhaps poor people are not suited to remote scenery. Luxurious flowers like this, and indeed the words on that door are no exaggeration. TôKyBây now thought to himself. As he kept tossing and turning without sleeping, he suddenly felt something moving in the fireplace. He lay quietly and pretended to be sleeping, but his eyes were wide open to see what was happening. Near the fireplace, there was the shadow of a small woman bent over and hurriedly doing something. A moment later, TôKyBây realized that it was the shopkeeper. She was walking back and forth to the stove, bending down as if she were working in the fields. He tried his best to look closely and saw a woman planting rice on ash. He only counted to 5 hours before the rice sprouts sprouted. Rice grows very quickly, then flowers and seeds. A moment later, there was nothing on the hearth but ripe rice grains, and when the rice turned golden, she reaped it and then used a wooden beam to thresh it. Then she kneaded it very carefully for a while and made it into cakes. She had just finished making the cake when it was morning. When the first sound of the rooster ended, only ash remained on the fireplace. TôKyBây rubbed his eyes. He looked at the room and muttered, "I must be dreaming." But clearly it really happened. He stood up, looked closely at the fireplace but didn't and #39 see anything noteworthy. Then TôKyBây now looked in the mirror. In the mirror appeared a face pale from insomnia, looking at him with bloodshot eyes. And quote, "It doesn't and #39 matter whether I and number 39 am dreaming or not. The important thing is that it and number 39 is too suspicious here," end quote. He said to himself, then ran away. Go to the next room to let your friend know just in case. Don and number 39 eat anything that was served this morning, he told his friend, especially Don and number 39 eat rice flour cakes. After saying that, he told me everything he saw. Let you hear. TôKyBây mocked him. What a number 39 is so strange. Growing rice on a fireplace overnight, no one has ever heard of something like this. Only in nightmares. In short, it was just because he wasn't an #39 used to sleeping in luxurious rooms. TôKyBây was hurt. He replied, "I am number 39. I'll tell you what I saw with my own eyes. Whether you believe it or not is up to you. But I would like to inform you in advance that you should not eat rice flour cakes." Having finished speaking, he returned to his room. A moment later, TôKyBây heard a light knock on the door. The door opened, the shop owner walked in, bringing the customer a tray containing breakfast food. TôKyBây chuckled inwardly when remembering TôKyBây now and #39's sad face because of being insulted. Very hungry, he immediately took a rice cake to eat. After eating the head, he didn't and #39 see anything wrong. And quote, "Maybe TôKyBây has been dreaming about something unrealistic," end quote. He thought, then ate the second cake. But as soon as he finished eating this cake, he no longer saw himself as TôKyBây but as a black horse standing in the room. The woman serving earlier gave a cruel smile, then quickly led the horse down to the stable, even though it resisted. Meanwhile, TôKyBây was still sitting in his room. He did not touch the plate of cake that the shopkeeper had brought in. He waited for TôKyBây to call, because the two of them had to leave. Sitting for a long time without hearing anything, TôKyBây stood up and went to his friend and number 39's room. But TôKyBây had disappeared, leaving only a small table with an unfinished breakfast tray. Knowing something bad had happened, he ran out of the house, just in time to see the servant leading a black horse down to the stable, tears streaming down the horse and number 39's face. TôKyBây now was suspicious of this. Too angry, he went to find the shop owner. "What have you done to my friend? Where is he?" he asked while shaking the shop owner, who looked scared. The old shop owner hesitantly replied, "I Don and number 39 know, sir, I Don and number 39 know." The woman immediately appeared, approached him, smiling wickedly. "Hey, sir, why do you treat my husband so harshly? Why are you so impatient? I just brought food to your friend. I saw that he was very excited. Your friend must have gone ahead and is waiting for you somewhere on the street. As for the money, Don and number 39 worry, it and number 39's already been paid. You probably want to know this, right?" TôKyBây was so angry, he didn't and #39 know how to respond when he heard her speak in such a mocking voice. He returned to his room and packed his things into his bag. But before leaving the inn, he went to the stables, There were many horses in the stables. He looked for the black horse and saw it tied to the feeding trough, looking very sad. TôKyBây gently caressed it and said, "Have you seen what happened because you didn't and #39? Listen to me. Now I have to set out alone, find the wise men to ask how to free you." So TôKyBây set out alone. It was difficult for him, because the money was in TôKyBây and #39's bag, and all the luggage had fallen into the hands of the sinister shopkeeper. He plans to go to big cities, because it and number 39's easier to make a living here. Besides, only in big cities can you find good people to free your friend. But he went to all the markets but still in vain. He went to tea rooms and talked to all kinds of people. He wanted to visit famous monasteries to find high monks. He talked to everyone he thought could give advice, who to axe, and how to turn the black horse back into a human. I went around half the kingdom, but could N and #39 find anyone. I went to all the cities and monasteries, but without success. Now there is only water entering the mountain anymore. Maybe in the mountains I can find a wise person in seclusion to help me. TôKyBây silently said in his heart. TôKyBây left the city, looking for remote villages, but it was in vain. Since the day he and TôKyBây and number 39's been a year since you left and slept in an inn, but TôKyBây still hasn't and #39 found a way to free you. One day, while wandering high in the mountains, he came to a village. The villagers here pointed him to the next village. They said there was a wise monk there who would help him. Even though TôKyBây now had lost all hope, he still could N and #39 miss any opportunity, so he hurried away. Along the way, he got lost in the mountains for 2 days without finding his way. He left his bag on the edge of a field, with his last meal inside. He climbed up a rocky outcrop to look, hoping that being high up, he could easily see the way. Indeed, up on the mountain, he saw a small road. But before going this way, he wanted to sit down and rest a bit and eat to regain his strength, because for 2 days now he hadn't and #39 touched any food because he didn't and #39 know how much longer he had to wander in the mountains. Again. Now that you and number 39 they found the way, you can calm down and eat to relieve your hunger. But he was surprised to see the food in his bag disappear. He looked around, and saw not far from where his bag was kept, there was an old man with white hair wiping the last piece of cake from his beard. The old man did not seem afraid at all when he saw the young man. He smiled cordially. Said, "Your donuts are so delicious. We haven't and number 39 eaten a cake as delicious as this for a long time. I hope you and number 39 not angry because I ate the cake from my bag without waiting for the owner to ask for it first. You know, I and number 39 am old and haven and number 39 eaten for a long time. I could N and #39 resist the craving when I saw there were donuts in this bag." Hearing that, TôKyBây calmed down. "Okay, because you think the donuts are delicious. Then just eat it and number 39's not far from the village. Maybe you and number 39 find food there. You and number 39 such a nice guy for not getting angry at a strange old man who ate his last meal. By the way, I didn't and #39 know you had nothing left to eat. But tell me what brought you to this mountain. Maybe you and number 39, looking for something, right? Please tell me. Thank you very much. How can you help me when I have asked countless famous people in big cities and in monasteries, but they are all helpless and cannot give me any advice? TôKyBây replied, "Just let me know. What was bothering you? I want to repay you, because you have been good to me. Because, I tell you that I am not an ordinary old man, but TôKyBây now is so happy. People cannot help themselves, but the mountain god is a different story." So, he immediately told what happened to his friend. For a year now, his friend has been working as a horse in the house of the cruel couple at the inn. Well, the mountain god secretly thought this is also difficult. "I show you a way, but you must be patient and very patient. Listen here. Go east until you reach a mountainside that goes west and east, and there you will see a large field of eggplants. Once you have found that field, you must look carefully at each tree. Among the eggplants in the field, there is only one tree with 7 eggplants. This tree is a miracle drug. Please carefully pick all 7 of these eggplants and bring them to your friend. When he eats all 7 of these eggplants, raw, one by one, the evil spell will disappear." After giving instructions, the old man disappeared as if he had been swallowed into the ground. TôKyBây now looked around in surprise. He only saw that his bag was empty, proving that he wasn't and #39 dreaming, but he was indeed talking to her. He picked up his bag, and was surprised when he heard a jingling sound inside. Opening the bag, he saw that there were 2 donuts in it, and he was compensated with such a generous amount of money like this? At least now I Don and number 39 have to worry about making a living anymore. TôKyBây now thought happily. He then set out, making a long and arduous journey. It was true that the job was not easy, even though he already knew how to help you. First of all, you have to find the eggplant tree that will heal you. As you keep walking east, you will encounter many large and small eggplant fields, located on the slopes of the mountain sloping down from west to east. He knelt down on the ground and searched, carefully examining each tree, but there was no tree bearing 7 fruits. TôKyBây now does not give up. After finding this field, he searched for another field. I Don and number 39 know how many fields he has found eggplant trees with 4 or even 5 fruits. One time he was overjoyed. He counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He stood up in frustration. There were only 6 left. He was exhausted, his back bent until it hurt. Before his eyes, he only saw eggplants planted, sparsely or densely, but one field after another. He continued to look from one eggplant tree to another, until at the end of a field, he came across an eggplant tree with many fruits. He counted 5, 6, 7. A stream of vitality ran through his body, making him healthy. Again. He put 7 eggplants in his bag, then turned and walked back to the inn from before. He went very excited. Then his friend would end his suffering. He was very grateful to the mountain god. In exchange for just a meager meal, he got a precious remedy and 2 more gold coins. The 2 gold coins made him think. A really good idea. Before going to the inn, he went to a nearby city. With the remaining money, he bought a beautiful kimono, then rented clothes from a rich and luxurious family for a trip away. He dressed up and went to the inn with the demeanor of a rich man. The innkeeper and his wife saw that the guest was a luxuriously dressed young man, so they walked over to greet him respectfully. TôKyBây now said, "I went on a long trip, returning from the temples in Idu. I in number 39 am so tired, I want to stay overnight at your inn. I want a room that suits me." "Oh, sir, only nobles like you stay at this inn. We will choose a very good room for you. You will surely be satisfied." They immediately brought TôKyBây now into the house, their attitude even more respectful. This young man probably didn't and #39 need to pay attention to know the look the couple was giving each other, silently saying, "And quat. That and number 39's good food, and quat." They led TôKyBây now into the room he lived in a year ago. Then they went out, repeating the same respectful bowing movements as before, to prepare for the distinguished guests to cool off. As soon as the couple left the room, TôKyBây immediately sneaked down to the stables to find his friend. "He found you standing in a corner, skinny and with bloody welts all over your body. Hunger and hard work have made it emaciated and lethargic, and it stands in front of the feeding trough without turning its head to see who comes in." TôKyBây then approached the horse, caressed its mane and said, "Don and number 39, be sad, I have brought medicine to help you return to human form." He opened his bag, the bag he hid in the sleeve of his kimono, and took it out. The first eggplant was given to the black horse to eat. "Hey, you have to eat this to become human again." The horse ate the first eggplant, then the second and the third. The fourth fruit was difficult to swallow, but by the fifth fruit, it refused to eat any more. TôKyBây got angry. "What are you doing? Do you want to be a horse forever? Okay, it and number 39's up to you. If you Don and number 39 eat, you will continue to be a horse." He threatened to leave, leaving TôKyBây here, and the horse slowly ate all 7 eggplants. Just after finishing the last bite, TôKyBây appeared standing in front of the horse feeding trough. But he looked thin and pale. TôKyBây untied his friend and number 39's rope and said, "Now you go hide in the forest, I still pay the innkeeper." TôKyBây returned to the room and ordered a sumptuous dinner to be served. He invited the innkeeper and his wife to eat together, so that he could invite them to eat the rare rice flour cakes he had brought with him on his pilgrimage. Of course he pretended to. Both husband and wife came by invitation. During that time, TôKyBây now took advantage of the couple not paying attention and exchanged the normal rice flour cakes he bought on the street for rice flour cakes brought by the shop owner on a tray to thank the young man for his kindness. Both of them they all ate delicious rice cakes offered by TôKyBây. But as soon as they ate the second one, they turned into horses. The 2 horses whinnied loudly, kicking behind, but doing nothing to change their fate. TôKyBây now called the servants over and ordered them to lead the 2 horses down to the barn. Then he went to look for TôKyBây in the forest. The couple slept together a good night. The next morning, they sold the property of the innkeeper and his wife and 2 horses, paid for the things he rented, then bought the necessary things for TôKyBây and him so they could go home. Nothing could stop their footsteps anymore. The rich merchant was very happy to hold his child in his arms. He spent a long time in terrible fear, and not only he but also the widow, TôKyBây and #39's mother, also anxiously looked forward to the return of the young couple. He sent detectives everywhere to search, but these people could not discover anything except that the two guys did not go to Ide, because no one saw them in the temples in this city. The rich businessman thought his son had some fate, and the poor widow could not sleep all day and night. Now both have returned safely. The parents and number 39. Joy is boundless. Taku Now and Ki Hei Di told everyone everything that had happened. When the rich merchant learned of Taku Nai and #39's loyalty, he divided the fortune into 2 equal parts and gave half to Takuna. If it weren't and #39 T for grandchildren, I wouldn't and #39 T have children now. Therefore, the wealth we have must be divided equally. From that moment on, they lived very happily. But Ki Hei Di and #39's personality has completely changed. He is different from before, hard to recognize. Now he knows how to enjoy life, living comfortably and happily with his rich property and with friends. But he also knew the meaning of hard labor, so his father was no longer sad or afraid for his career after he passed away. Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.